And with that, folks, we're into game two between Danish Bears and Finem. Let's see who can take this one all the way home. I'm Llama Down Under, joined by Scant. I I was expecting that Chen ban, I would say.
Yep, seems legit to me. I don't know if I was expecting the Invoker pick. I'm not sure. Like, is Invoker something they like to do? I get Pingvin Chef plays Invoker, right?
Yes, yes, he plays a lot of
Okay.
Invoker. His Invoker has been carrying them through
Yeah.
a couple of tournaments.
Yeah. I actually, as I said that I remembered, I have seen his Invoker plenty of times. I just, for some reason, I like looking at the team. I wasn't like Invoker's their hero. I guess because it didn't really feature last game, and was it even banned? I don't think it was.
No, wasn't picked or
So I
banned.
guess they just chose not to go for it last game. Fair enough. They went for a different lineup, but as I said at the end of last game, they go for something maybe more standard this time, and Invoker's a standard start for them. The Bane and the Nature's Prophet for Adfinem also quite interesting. You mentioned that Adfinem actually ran the Skylark Nature's Prophet in two of the games of the best of three yesterday when these teams played each other and Adfinem won. The Bane may be even more interesting because this is like a support that was pretty core to the professional meta for several months and isn't quite as core as it used to be at the moment. You don't see it that often at all. Usually when you do see it, it's mostly for to have like that strong laning presence. So I'm interested to see if they put the Bane to the mid lane or the safe lane early on in this game.
Yeah, I think always. I mean, Nature's Prophet is a strong pick. They've shown they're very comfortable with it on Infinum. Faceless Void Invoker combo, though, something to be worried about. Chronosphere, it allows the Invoker to go super exort. And right now, Team Adphenum, I mean, Bane can do some nice damage over time, can set up for some burst damage, but without another setup, they might not be able to, you know, knock this Faceless Void out of lane.
Yeah, Bane can. I mean, Bane's pretty good at trading right clicks, but part of the reason Bane is normally considered to be good at trading right clicks with an off lane is that you can sap them then to get your life back if they trade. But Void can actually just counteract that in this case. Well, Void can't counteract the life gain, but Void can counteract the damage, the nuke part of it. So
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like maybe Bane should be able to zone out the Void anyway. It maybe depends on if the Void has an early command shield or not. Um, Definitely with a little bit of help, the Void could be in trouble there, that's for sure.
Now, the thing I have with Void, I do think even like the Bane can certainly trade right clicks with him very well because of that, and that trading right clicks is what you have to do against the Void because you want to do the damage slowly so that he doesn't just backtrack the last 2 seconds of burst damage. But
10 seconds
we'll just have to see what else they pick up because Void, if you can keep him from getting experience, pretty great. But kind of once he reaches that level 2, that level 3, you're done.
Yeah, it becomes difficult, and part of that's not even just the levels. It's like that's when he has a poor man shield and a boots of speed and all those key little items. Interesting enough, Advenom actually ban out the Jar Ranger. It is a hero that goes very well with Invoker, goes reasonably well with Void too, long range into Chronosphere, and they pick up the OD themselves. So it's not the first time you'll see something like this, and not the last either, where a team like takes a hero that the other team had right after beating them, saying, you know what, we'll show you how we run this hero. And Odie is, I think, one of the favored heroes against Invoker. Not massively. Uh, DP, for example, is considered to get a very big upper hand in a lane against Invoker mid lane, whereas Odie, I think, maybe it's about 60-40 or even 55-45. Favors the Odie, but not a huge amount.
Something else interesting, there are a variety of builds on the OD. I'm not sure which one Advenom will favor here exactly. A lot of it's player preference, but when you're up against a Faceless Void, it can be nice to get the Dragon Lance because then you can smack people from in the chrono. But Enchantress gonna be what Danish Bears go for, another Dragon Lance hero, and Immediate Gyrocopter to follow up. There is a lot of stuff which is gonna smack this Enchantress around through that untouchable.
Yeah, but this is a support Enchantress, right? I mean, they've got the Void, and as I said, I've seen Rise playing Enchantress for Danish Bears. I asked in the first game, I'm not sure if they do offlane. I mean, they probably can do offlane Enchantress, but I think that they primarily do support Enchantress. Which is interesting because now, if you run a jungler against a team with a Bane Elemental, in some way I feel like you're asking for trouble. I suppose Enchantress is a jungler that is going to be active a lot early on. It's not like a greedy, just sit and farm. Enchantress can get creeps and gank from even level 1. If the Enchantress is just farming the jungle, my thinking is that the team that has a Bane and a Gyrocopter is probably just gonna like win all their lanes because they have like such strong laning heroes, and there's 5 of them and 4 of you. So there's probably a lot of pressure then on Rise, assuming that I am right about that, which I think I am. There's probably a lot of pressure on Rise's Enchantress to actually make some plays early on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you. Oh,
Speaking of taking each
okay,
other's
yeah,
heroes,
that's Weaver. So never mind. It is. Yeah, they are just swapping things up. I was gonna say as well, just something I know some folks are confused. Danish Bears, it says they have stand-ins, but these are actually players they've all played with before. It's not, they're not
10
stand-ins.
seconds
This is like their
Yeah.
lineup that they use frequently. It's not as if they're rocking 3 stand-ins today.
5 seconds.
Yeah, this is
remaining.
the official roster, and ASDF is better known as Rise.
Yeah, don't know why he's rocking the
Reserve
ASDF.
time.
He's always, I think every game I've seen him this week has been ASDF, but it's definitely Rise. I mean, he tweets after all their games saying whether they won or not. So it's like, it's him.
Either way, getting back into it, Weaver, as you said, taking their each other's heroes. I don't know about it here. There's a lot of burst damage. Even if you time lapse, might put you in a bad place. We've seen those Weavers where like the cooldown just obliterates them before they meant to get into the fight.
Yeah. Fiend's Grip also pretty good against Weaver.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the thinking of Danish Bears is here. I feel
5
like
seconds remaining.
it might just be that they like it's a comfort zone kind of thing. Like they're very comfortable with these kinds of heroes. These are heroes that I've seen them run.
Reserve time.
I'm not sure if I've seen these 4 heroes together, but I've certainly seen the support Enchantress. I've certainly seen the mid Invoker. I don't know as much about the Void and the Weaver, but these are like pretty standard heroes right now. They ban out the Bounty Hunter, so
Radiant
protecting their
team
jungle
pick.
Enchantress, so that's like pretty much guaranteed now. It will be a jungle
Dire
Enchantress,
team pick.
not an offlane. It's gonna be the offlane Void, safe lane Weaver, so it's a support pick for Danish Bears. And I think right now, with that last pick Marana, they might feel a bit forced into picking something like a Treant Protector or an Abaddon or something that helps against the Bane Marana roaming combo, which looks like it's gonna be to the supports.
I mean, it's
Because
even
if you
worse than
consider,
that because it's OD into Mirana Arrow. Astral Imprisonment
yeah,
means always you hit the arrow.
yeah, and also
10
potentially even the
seconds
Nightmare into
remaining.
cooldown or Rocket Barrage without the Marana being there. So those combos are really good,
5
and
seconds remaining.
especially the combos that involve the Bane, usually you counter by having more than one hero in the lane, because you can like take the Nightmare off for the
Reserve
arrowheads
time.
or whatever. I mean, you can't really do it with the Astral, you're right, but
10 seconds
because
remaining.
the Enchantress is in the jungle, they have less opportunity to do that. And Danish Bears interestingly don't. They ignore the pressure. They say, we're gonna pick the hero we wanted to pick, the hero that makes sense in our draft. They've got like a pushing element, they've got a Chronosphere element. So their draft internally is very coherent, consistent, makes sense. But in terms of a response to this Mirana Bane support combo, they've not really done anything. They've just kind of like, we're gonna play our game. And again, I think this goes back to their confidence in Rises and Enchantress. I think they just hope or expect or are optimistic about the fact that the support Enchantress can actually dominate the early game more than the Mirana or the Bane can.
I think that is a very ambitious. I mean, this Enchantress will have to do a lot of work. The
10
Mirana
seconds
combo,
remaining.
we've all seen it before. Mirana and OD get work
5
done. Add a Bane
seconds
to that,
remaining.
which is, I mean, that's such an old school combo, I feel. The Nightmare into Arrow. Danish Bears have their work cut out for them.
Well, they start off by scouting the Gyrocopter.
Prepare
They know he
for battle.
exists because they sunstriked him. Wasn't an elaborate ruse, pretending to have a Gyrocopter in the draft, but actually not. Starting with the early smoke on Bane, so early smoke on Mirana as well, so very clearly going to be roaming. There's also a smoke. I mean, if we take smoke as signal for roaming, there's also a smoke on the Enchantress. There isn't one on the Shadow Shaman, but he's got boots. Pretty important, actually.
Speaking game plan,
But yeah,
it feels like both teams have really good team fight, but then of course Advenom also have the added option of split pushing with the Nature's Prophet.
um, sure they do, but there's also great catch. I mean, if the game's going well for Danish Bears, Shadow Shaman is a Blink Dagger. You've got Sunstrike, you've got the long range Enchantress or the super fast Weaver. It's not that difficult to catch out the Nature's Prophet. Although then again, I mean we talk about this, but these days split pushing is just Aghanim Scepter ultis, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you're standing. And You're right. That's definitely something that Adfinem could do. I actually personally like. I think I prefer Danish Bear's lineup in terms of the both the pushing synergy and the using the Chronosphere and comboing with it synergy. But liking their draft more is completely premised on the fact that they get like similar to last game that they get through the lane stage in the early game unharmed and they get, yeah, it's you didn't seem confident that the Enchantress would do enough for that to happen.
It's so much
I'm
you have
not
to
sure.
do, right? As an enchantress, and your job is much harder as an enchantress, even with a smoke. You need
It's
to
a
get good RNG on the creeps, then you have to come out and you have to harass some. You might even need to actually secure a kill to win a
30
number of different
seconds to
lanes.
battle.
It's
it's a
not
very,
easy.
very, very strong early game control hero though. I mean, don't underestimate. Like I think I probably agree with you that the job's a bit easier for the Mirana and the Bane, but I I don't want to underestimate Rise's Enchantress because I think he plays a good Enchantress, and I think the hero is maybe one of the strongest early pressure heroes individually. Sure, it's not a combo, but it's good.
Yasuo already has one lost hit, and I have no idea how that happened. Because I do not see sentries for the Dia down anywhere, so...
One of the treants.
Oh, he got one of the
Surely.
treants? Okay, yeah, that could have been it. I didn't see any over by them, but obviously could have been a treant. I was sitting there and I'm like, where is this sentry that got them a void? But should have looked at the experience. 7 means it's a treant. I just think it's easier execution for Adfinem than it is for Danish Bears, but we'll see. There's a lot on Rise's back, and whether he'll be able to get that done. There is already plans. Oh, the arrow can't land here. It was just a really bad spot. Pingvachek gets hit by it anyway. Didn't hit right out of the Astral Imprisonment, but this should be easy first blood. Pingvachek trying to walk it off, eats the Fairy Fire. One more auto attack will get it.
That's not when you said the arrow can't land. I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, I agree. It's not gonna hit, is it?
He walked back,
That-
yeah.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, I think that's a very good arrow actually from Mirana. Like in that position, you could choose to just knock off the arrow at all. Goes for the arrow, thinking like you can still maybe judge the movements and gets it right and gets the first blood as a result. And that's a very, very good start for Adfinem.
I was actually not,
What?
as you said, I
Kill
will...
the creep.
Oh. Yep.
That's
And-
good. That's really good, actually. And that's we didn't even talk about that, but that's if Mirana can just counter the Enchantress ganks by like one-shotting the creeps, that's gonna be a huge issue for the Enchantress.
Well, up in top lane, though, looks like Skylark going down. So Danish Bears have returned the aggression.
That's I think the actually no, I was gonna say that's the boots first on Shadow Shaman, but it looks like the Nature's Prophet also has boots, so they just caught him out because he's actually faster than the Shadow Shaman, so he shouldn't be getting
Oh.
caught. And
In the bottom
incentive.
lane, we're losing Faceless Void, long-ranged arrow, but also he already used the time lapse, sorry, the time walk to backtrack the damage from Brain Sap. So it's yeah, Rana already 2 arrows, hit arrows, throw arrow, hit arrow.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm just remembering now that there was a game that I cast with you actually, I think, where maybe it wasn't with you, it was with someone. Maybe it was with, I don't know, where Skylark played Nature's Prophets and he like fed a lot in lane. And then at the end of the game I sort of thought that he won them the game because he was like 2 for 10, but he bought an Agnum Scepter and then once he had it never died again and just kept all the waves pushing.
That was
And
us.
I thought that was, yeah, that was okay. I thought that was very impressive. So it's in that context, I feel like having early deaths in the lane, they're not a big deal. If he's a Furon player who like does the right things when he has to, then it's not the end of the world as the offlaner to die once or twice early on, especially if you're killing both other lanes.
Realistically, your job as an offlaner, right? It's to get some experience, but also these days to disrupt the farm. If he can do both of those, like if your death takes longer than the bounty on your head, which I don't think that one did, but that's an example. You've done your job well, and oh, this Mirana already getting 2 arrows. She's about to get another one. Pingvachek is trying to play back so that he doesn't get astraled, but here he goes. He has the Forge Spirit up. Oh, Odie's making sure to kill that thing off first, so now the arrow can easily land. Oh, Pingvachek. It's not a super long one, though, so he might just be able to wander away from this, and it looks like he's out.
Yeah, actually, not a super long, actually a very super short arrow. So it not quite working out what they planned for. And the smoke wraparound is actually coming onto this OD now, and there was a warning a few seconds ago, about 30 seconds ago, but he's gonna get caught by the looks of things.
Oh, the shackle, the max range on that, and yeah, they have the damage. The creep's dead, but that's okay.
And you know, it's funny because when you were busy calling the fight that was happening, just before then I wanted to say, Skylark actually pinged out the mid lane, like saying, hey, the supports from top are missing, they might come smoke onto you. And I think maybe just because the kill attempt on Invoker happened, then the OD Thug just kind of like forgot that he had been warned, and then the smoke wraparound worked. I wanted to actually say it's impressive by Skylark because it's not a lot of the time offlaners don't do that because they offlaners kind of end up seeing themselves as farmers instead of like supporters. And I don't know, my personal view is that offlaners should see themselves as more as supports than they are as farmers, except in like special cases like Alliance where you actually are the carry if you're Admiral Bulldog. And so I like to see Skylark pinging warnings saying watch out. Just unfortunate when his teammate doesn't yield his call.
Yeah, I think, as you said, it was just a lot of stuff going on. I really like how Pingvachek is making sure to keep the Forge Spirit. Oh no, just as I go to compliment him, a long-range arrow hits him. Forge Spirit's not going to help enough. In comes the Faceless Void, only level 2 though. This is just auto-attack gaming. They're going to try to bring down the other people with autos, and they're getting the Mirana here. Nature's Prophet does put the Sprout up around, but it's not enough. Let's see if we can get the level 1 time lock to proc. Noya also has DD, but can't get in range. And after that mess in the mid lane, oh, are we still going to see Pingvachek going down to the auto attacks from Bane?
Yeah, so it's strategically very well read by Danish players. Like, okay, they're going to keep going on Invoker over and over and over, and so everyone rotates towards the lane, ready for it to happen, and they get to punish the overextension. But at the same time, the fact that maybe next time still gets Pingvachek at the end there makes it like a bit of a case of, even though Finem got tactically outmaneuvered, they somehow get like a bit of an outplay in the situation and manage to make it not so bad for themselves. And now there's a smoke from the Bane and the Mirana, so straight off for the next kill attempt.
Yeah, I was going to compliment Pingvachek's been trying to keep a Forge Spirit out because of course it can dodge the arrows, and then there were 2 uphill misses by the OD, but then Pingvachek moved it to the side anyway and took the arrow. So a bit unfortunate, as you said. Now, I mean, there's not much you can do about a Bane in this game. Bane, oh, Pingvachek, he dodges the arrow, but there's going to be the Bane coming in as well. Might just use the Brain Sap here. The Ice Wall is down. So Spartan took a lot of damage, so they might just back on out. Pingvachek does take the Nature's Wrath, and now he's fine.
That's interesting. So I guess they decided to just go straight with the arrow because well, here's another. No, you see. Yeah, they see the Forge Spirit exactly as you're saying, and so if they set up with either the OD or the Bane, the Forge Spirit could save the Invoker. So they tried to go straight for the arrow, but I actually think the next level plays for Bane to run into Nightmare, and then OD like Astrals the Forge Spirit as the arrow. That's got to be the play.
OD's been trying to bring it down with auto attacks, and he's not wrong. As long as Thug doesn't get these uphill misses, it takes like 2 to kill off a Forge Spirit. So.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
Just not able to always make it reach.
Looks like Bane goes to top lane. No, Mirana can't get there anytime soon though, so. Alright, we didn't talk much about Gyrocopter yet this game, but has the most CS out of everyone. So doing pretty well, Madara.
He's following up a storm. His lane hasn't been contested. You can see that they really haven't had much support, and it looks like they're deciding to go for a push. Skylark coming in already has that level 6, unlike the Faceless Void, who's only level 4. And right now, Danish Bears don't look like they have a great way to stop a push.
We're gonna see yet another attempt at the mid lane. Mirana TP's in, but
do you think this is worth it? Like, all of these attempts on mid, even some of them have worked. The fact that they aren't, is this Mirana just wasting time?
No, I mean, like strategically in terms of theory crafting, it definitely not. Because you're also in the heads of your enemies, like you force them to make rotations. Invoker has to think about it all the time. Invoker actually gets hit now by an arrow, so maybe this is it.
Yeah, they're gonna put some auto attacks into him. He's of course losing it as well, but he's turning it around onto Thug. Ace comes in, isn't super high health. The Sunstrike going to hit. Ace just needs those 2 autos. Oh, the Astral Imprisonment, but with the bugs, I don't see a great way out for Invoker, and Ace actually going in for it. Weaver's gonna get the kill. Maybe next time comes in 2. And then, oh no, Nature's Prophet gets the kill on the bottom lane, I think. I'm not actually sure where he... Oh, goodness, Rodder, and he moved into the arrow! He time-walked right up into it, now he's gonna fall.
I feel so bad for Danish players, because it feels like now, twice it's happened that gank attempts on Invoker, like they were prepared for it, they turned it around, and then somehow,
Dire's bottom
somewhere,
tower is under attack.
Adfinim's still making kills on the map.
Radiant's middle tower
Like
is
if you,
under
like the
attack.
focal point has been this mid lane, and they've actually played it really well. But this actually goes back to the question you're asking. So is it worth it for Mirana to keep trying? Well, that's what happens, right? Like it's not unrelated. What? Okay, Thug wants to. You're gonna just ulti. Doesn't do any damage.
Sorry, we also had
Could
Thug.
die.
Thug may go down if the Forge Spirits can get a couple more autos. They do manage to get him, and up in the top lane, it got very close on the Weaver as well. This game is a bit more action-packed than the last.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that like Mirana ganking mid all the time, like is definitely related to opening up the map for kills in other lanes. So even when they fail their ganks, they've drawn heroes to the mid lane, and so it makes the other lanes vulnerable and allows for them to get those kills. So that's why I think it's like just generally worth it. As long as you're getting something done, occasionally lasting a creep with the arrow, occasionally making a kill, maybe 1, 3, 5 or 6 attempts. That's more than enough.
Still, the net worth is very close. Adfinum have only a slight lead, unlike last game where around this point they had 4,000 or 5,000 gold. And now it's also, only a slight lead for them. The Nature's Prophet just goes home. And Danish Bears, they've grouped up a little on top. It looks like they're going for a gank.
Radiant's middle tower
Midas
is
is
under
finished
attack.
on Penguin check. Oh, they sense it. This is so well timed. Oh, Adfinum. I honestly think they were checking for Invoker farming in the jungle, and they were just slightly too early.
Because they knew about when the Midas timing was coming out. Either way, the top lane, there is going to be a super deep dive going down. The Nature's Prophet has gotten ace again in that Sprout underneath the tower. And now the Gyrocopter going for Noya. They return back for ace. The Fiend's Grip, there's no way out for this Weaver. And he goes down.
Yeah, I think that's a very good decision by Ban Elemental.
Okay, hits that arrow somehow. Even though the creep wave was coming. And now Noya's gone as well.
Okay. So some of these arrows just magical this game.
Have we
Impressive by
missed any?
Spartan.
How many have we missed? 2 arrows so far?
Yeah, I think that's about it. And now the Mirana ulti, so they actually want to try and
Radiant's middle tower
do
is under
something in the.
Okay.
It's another arrow.
Tower is under
Forge
attack.
Spirit does end up taking that arrow, pretty much I think saving both of these heroes in mid lives. And now they're gonna rotate in more ace coming in
There's a
again.
chronosphere.
Yeah, what are they
There is
doing?
a chronosphere.
It's so hard to land though these days. Without an initiation tool, do you really think he can make a big play?
Yeah, from behind these trees could definitely time walk in and chrono if there's anyone defending the tower, and that's kind of the plan here. And we'll see. Does Thug risk going in for the deny? No, there's a TP. Is that gonna be cancelled?
Oh, they've
No.
got out to Spartan. There's gonna be the Shackle. Oh, the nice Nightmare saving him from a lot of damage there. And we do have a Chronosphere coming out. Thug taking quite a bit of damage here. Astral imprisons 4 people in the cooldown. They're getting hit again. Rotten, he's not able to time walk back. And they're still alive. Skylock now taking a bit of damage. They finally kill off the Mirana. But Thug still fine. Ace trying to get those Geminate attacks off. Takes a full Rocket Barrage. Has to time lapse back. Madara, he's taking a little bit of damage from the Enchantress, but it's not enough yet. The Cold Snap does proc him. But the OD, that was a very sad Sandy's Eclipse. Noya losing some mana there, so can't super follow, and both sides just trying to walk it away. There's going to be a Nightmare onto Ace. Has the Sakuchi, but Fiend's Grip stops all of that business, and he goes down, and now goodbye Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, and the fact that Bane keeps managing to get Fiend's Grip on Weaver, whether with the Nightmare or without the Nightmare, is really important, because if you're able to kill the Weaver, the other heroes on Danish Bears are not really good at running away, so very often you're going to get another hero, and both times now it's been the Rasta, but it doesn't have to be the Rasta. The point is, like, notice, for example, Nature's Prophet TP's out, ultis, TP's back in. Like, that kind of effect is Danish Bears don't have anything like that in their team. And so when these fights get drawn out, especially when the Weaver is getting caught out, which is the closest they have to that, then there's all these tricks that Advenom can play on, like multiple arrows or Furion going in and out.
They do manage to get a nice swarm out onto quite a few of them. It's been killed off already, though. Yeah, that's it. I think Danish Bears are playing very well, but it does feel like Advenom are just playing a bit better than them. We're going to see another Mirana ult come out, and where is the detection on Danish Bears? It's not there.
I'm sure the Obsward spotted.
Yeah, there's going to
Guess
be a
not.
missed arrow, but Pingvachek, he doesn't have a good way out of this, and the cooldown gets the kill.
I feel like this Obsward should have spotted one of those heroes when the Mirana ulti went on, but maybe not quite paying attention. If you weren't looking at the map, what you'd see is a hero that's in vision and then goes out of vision on your ward, and the way that ward's placed, it's not that obvious that they went invisible. They might have just like walked out.
Yeah, and this is not easy for Danish players to come back from. Just as I was complimenting the fact that they hadn't fallen as far behind in the first game, they're now over 4,000 gold behind, 3,000 experience. It just feels like they're being outmaneuvered on the map.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was saying early on, like, there's a few times that I think they actually outmaneuvered at Finem early on, like, tactically at least, but the later the game goes, the more heroes are involved in more fights. I do think you're right, at Finem are the ones doing outmaneuvering, and certainly they're outplaying, like, to put it simply. I think that a lot of the time Danish players have a good idea, but that's only at the start of the fight. And then the fight lasts quite a while, and having a good idea at the start of the fight only goes so far.
Yeah, I think maybe they get Thug here. Oh yeah, Enchantress has got his number. Nice kill there, secured by Enchantress. That's going to be something. This is a good start for Danish players. What else do you think they need to do? Obviously, they have a big teamfight spell in the Chronosphere. Do you just try to play... Oh my goodness, another arrow hits onto Ace. And now, I don't think they can capitalize. So what do you do here if you're Danish players? Taking rush? Good?
Yeah.
What next?
Yeah, rushing helps a lot. That's... If they get the Aegis, it might actually give them the confidence and the strength to push them, the two remaining tier 1s. If they do that, then all of a sudden the whole lead could be gone. So that's the plan, I think. Try and get those tier 1s if they can. If they can get a pick off along the way, that'll be great, but just taking down those towers so that they don't have that disadvantage on the map, so that they've got just as much access to the map as the enemy team does. That's what they need to look for.
And
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I like this. They've got themselves the Aegis, but they're in such a hole. And this Mirana, I know we've all like already seen the arrows, but that was amazing. There have been a couple there. The one up there, to me, like the creep wave was coming in and she hit the arrow. I guess you just have to believe and go for it. Now, Weaver's going for a Lincoln's here. Obviously good against the Bane, even though there are a couple of easy things to proc it. Do you just go Deso after that?
That is certainly the standard build on Weaver, so in the absence of any reason to do something different, yeah, I'd say that's the most likely thing to happen. And Danish players get the tier 1 the bot lane, but they're very likely losing that tier 2 the top lane in response, and actually the Invoker, who does not have the Aegis.
Yeah, he's gonna get Fiend's Grips. There's gonna be a lot of help coming in, though. They do... Where is the detection? They finally drop a sentry onto them. Maybe they'll get the return kills they need. Faceless Void has died elsewhere, though, so no Chronosphere. Now the cooldown is coming in. Noya taking a lot of damage. One auto attack. No. Mirana manages to get it. And now Ace caught out again. No Fiend's Grip this time, but an arrow with his name on it. And Ace, he does get off the Sakuchi before that, so they don't quite have the follow-up. Enchantress, though. Rocket Barrage going through untouchable. I'm gonna pick her off. What seemed like Danish Bear's fight just crumbling.
I don't know how the Faceless Void died. Was it just a gyro? Was there OD involved?
I did not.
The Mirana and the Bane were definitely trying to kill the Invoker, and so was the Nature's Prophet, and it's a bit surprising because the Gyrocopter should definitely not be able to solo kill a Faceless Void, especially with the Void having all his spells up. But Madara did it, and maybe Thug was helping. I also didn't catch it.
Finally, we see a missed arrow. I think it was just a case of maybe he time walked in, thinking about getting the chrono up, and then realized it wouldn't be a great one, and went down. They have good combos here for the Chronosphere. They just can't seem to do it, to say the least.
Yep, and it's interesting that Rise is going straight for the Adenom Scepter. I'm not sure. I haven't paid that much attention. Do you know if this is what he normally does? I know he plays the support Enchantress a lot, but usually the Enchantresses, certainly from the offlane, get the Dragon Lance first. Sometimes even a drum, but maybe when you're in that support position, like it's not reasonable to go
the
to
majority,
so many items.
Even the support Enchantresses normally go the Dragon Lance first. I'm as confused as you, perhaps just wanting to tank up a little bit more. Maybe we'll go back for the Dragon Lance. I'm not entirely sure. It could be a player-specific thing, but majority of even support Enchantresses, you know, they pick up Dragon Lance into Ags, even though there are other utility items.
I think Thug is probably gonna die. 12 seconds store on the TP, and because of the smoke, all it takes is Danish players need to look they need to run to the shop and look, and it's a pretty standard place to look because if you're trying to gank someone with a smoke, sometimes you think exactly, hey, they expected the gank, they went for a TP. If they go towards the shop, their smoke breaks, more than likely they'll find him and then he's dead.
Now,
So
this
we'll
is
see.
it is 12. What's the word? Sorry, 12 seconds on the TP cooldown, so he might just not get found.
Yeah, they haven't gone towards the shop, and that means he probably gets to live.
Enchantress leading the charge. They're actually placing some nice wards, and the smoke has been broken, maybe hoping someone will come in and see Enchantress. OD is coming on over. Does see ASD. He has to know that Ryze is not alone. There's no way Ryze would be farming their jungle alone, and immediately that Mirana ulti is popped.
And there has been a sentry ward dropped.
Dire's
They're
middle
hoping that the
tower
OD would
is
just
under
run into
attack.
them, but none of that happening. OD more intelligently, I think, runs towards his allies, especially when you've seen that the enemies down that side of the map. Now there's actually a smoke from Finem, just from the Mirana, the Bane, the Gyrocopter inside the enemy
Dire's
jungle.
structures are fortified. Dire's
Oh,
middle
okay.
tower
The
is
Weaver's
under
coming
attack.
in to defend this tower. We'll see if one of those
Radiant's
magical
bottom tower
arrows
is
hits him
under
again,
attack.
or Ace in a bad spot here. He's going to Sakuchi away this tower. Trying to get the deny, isn't able to. And an easy tower there for the lineup of Adfinem. Have we seen pushing wards dropped yet? Oh my goodness, Noya stopped his TP. I think saw the arrow coming towards him, goes down anyway.
Trespasser.
I don't know that we have. I think we've mostly seen there was the rush wards, and I think we've seen 2 fight wards. I don't know if we've seen Shadow Shaman kill a tower with wards yet. And that's, I mean, it tells you about the kind of state of the game. It's very difficult for Shadow Shaman to go off on its own, and equally difficult for the team to push together. I mean, they bought a lot of time and space by getting the pick-off that led to the rush, plus the rush, but Aegis has now just disappeared, and that might be one of the main timings that Adfinem were waiting for before they would, like, force big fights again.
Yeah, this is another thing that we see commonly out of Adfinem. Another reason I'm impressed by them. As you said, they could fight now. Oh, we have an engagement up here. There's going to be the Sunstrike. Nice quick kill on the Bane. They did have to use the Chronosphere, but at this point, I think you use all you've got.
Yeah, they're definitely fine with that. Fiorun actually has Orchid, and there's no Linken's yet on this Weaver. This is a potential kill attempt in the making. If you get the Orchid or the arrow.
Sakuchi up in one. Going to just not walk into it. A really nice attempt by Sispartan. So the Weaver will live to see another day. For
Yeah,
what were you saying? Sorry.
Skylark actually had an opportunity to get the Orchid off there, but
Radiant's top tower
just didn't
is
want to
under
go in
attack.
until the Mirana was a bit closer, I think, or at least until he could get the Orchid into Sprout into Arrow combo off. Now there's that Lincoln, so it'll be a bit more difficult to deal with the Weaver. Although remember, Arrow goes through Lincoln, so those direct arrows are still going to be kills on Weaver this game.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
We do have the Mirana ult. It looks like most folks TPing out. Maybe they'll catch out the Enchantress, but I don't think so. Oh, they're actually going for a smaller target in Noya. Invoker does have his Adenom Scepter up. I imagine the Faceless Void probably going to work on a Blink or an Ag Scepter himself now. But for Adfinem, what big items do you think they're waiting on before they go for this next push? Because they are in the dominant position right now.
It's not clear to me that they're waiting for any item, and as I say that, they pick up the Shadow Shaman.
Pretty easy pick, popping that Orchid to get the kill.
Like, more likely than an item, they want to get Roshan for themselves, if anything. Or like a key pick off before they push. I mean, there's only one tier 2 left, plus the high ground, so they'll go for the tier 2 soon. The high ground is, you know, it's high ground. We said they make good decisions about high grounding, and in this case the good decision might be to not do it too early, because the enemy team has a Chronosphere and a lot of things to throw damage into it.
He's gonna Sakuchi on through. I think he has some idea that Skylark may be looking to Orchid him. Does pop the Lincolns, but not enough follow-up to kill, so...
Oh, that's another good point actually. Nature's Prophet is one of the better heroes at dealing with Weaver's Lincolns. You can actually just, from anywhere on the map, click your ulti directly on the Weaver. Obviously then you, like, can waste your ulti, but... I mean, it's never a waste if you're killing the Weaver, so... They've got the arrow that goes through the Lincolns, they've got the Nature's Prophet ulti to trigger it, and... Lincoln's not going to be as devastating as I think it was last game on the other side.
Oh, they're going to have an arrow flying in, not gonna hit. Noya trying to get rid of some more vision. Ace. Oh, he's been dusted up here. They go in big 3-man chronosphere. There is a silence onto Rodham. He wants to be unsilenced so he can actually get something done with that time dilation. He does get it off before he dies, but Madara already in there. BKB ripped through 3 of them. And this is just, I mean, there are wards up, but again, just a slow feeling of being starved out for Danish Bears.
Yeah, that chronosphere did, like, it set up the cooldown. That's mostly what it did. Even though it looked like a really good chrono in 3. We've seen this before, like when a mag or a void or someone catches an enemy team, often it makes the void's team vanish just as much as the team that's been chronoed, and because of how strong the gyrocopter is, how far ahead of everyone he is, how farmed he is, like it's not worth it. It's not worth it to chrono the enemy team if your team's also going to vanish as a result.
They immediately pop the Mirana ult. They're looking for the hasty retreat out. There are no big ults. I mean, they used them all in the last team fight. There's going to be a nightmare onto Noya. The tornado does come out from Pingvachek. He's going to drop a meteor as well, doing some damage, but 4-stopping out of it. Noya throws out that dust to see them in the Mirana ult. He's going to blow up to the auto attack before the cooldown even hits. A second hit. Rodham manages to get himself out. They'll fill off maybe next time, but they've lost the Invoker again. And now Thug, maybe they can find the return kill here. They're fighting up against Skylog. He puts himself into those trees. They don't have a great way in. The arrow's going to fly out and hit Ace. And now they're still walking in onto Thug on the sidelines. They've lost a melee Rax though. I think, oh no, with the blink away, they're not even going to get the OD, and they're still fighting here. The Weaver has to use the time-lapse, takes a lot of damage. There's the BKB on Madara. Does not have an Aegis here. He is just going in full force. And is he going to kill them all? The backtrack used by Rodden to save his life. Madara is still alive. They're going to get the kill on the Weaver. And maybe more. Madara saved out by the Sprout. Noya now going to finally pick him off, but they have lost so much.
Yeah, that's some incredible presence of mind by Madara there, because a lot of players would like either panic and die, or panic and run away and then die. He just fights into it, and his teammates come back and help him, and just wipes the remaining heroes all on his own. I mean, it's like, part of it is he's ridiculously farmed. He's very, very strong. But I think even with that in mind, like on such low HP, surrounded by 3 enemy heroes, a lot of players would not be able to make that kind of decision.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Madara's play so far. He does, of course, have 8,000 matchmaking points, so might explain it. But no, I agree with you. A lot of people, you back out because you're low and you die anyway sometimes, just with the lineup of Danish Bears. But he just went in for it, pop BKB on something like 300 health or so. And now...
Yeah, that's... like, part of the reason it works, actually, I think, is that Danish Bears definitely never expected that. Those 3 heroes didn't think, like, Jara's going to turn around BKB and charge into us and take a moment to react, and that time he's like, killed one of you, life stealed of another one, and then it's too late once the Furon comes in with the Sprout. So yeah, definitely heads up from Finem, and now we do see Danish Bears kind of, yeah, on their, I think I said it before in the last game, they're on their last legs. I think that they can't lose another fight, probably.
They are 15,000 net worth behind. I don't even know if they win a few fights if... I mean, you've got to win a number of fights in a row. They do have Chronosphere. The Sunstrike is going to scout this out. They know the Aegis is going down and they have to engage. Weaver, though, in the top lane, has a TP, but there's nowhere to TP to, and they're choosing against it. This Aegis is Finem's.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say how many fights Danish Bears need to win to be ahead, or to catch up. But I think you can say fairly safely that if they lose one big fight, that's it for them, probably. And that fight's coming very soon, because I mean, I said before Adfinem might wait about high grounding, but that was when things looked a lot different. Like, the gold was a lot closer then. Sure, there's a Chronosphere, sure there's stuff to throw into, but last time we saw a 3-person Chronosphere, and Gyrocopter just killed 3 people.
Yep, now we're going to see rocket barraging onto these creeps. The arrow, not going to land for once, and now they're getting the secondary. Rax Ace going to try to poke away at Madara. This is the Aegis carrier, so he doesn't care. He's just going to try to attack, even though he's a chicken. He is standing there, and now they can go for top. They have trees they can make with Nature's Prophet. Or they can just back on out and wait for the natural creep wave. No, it looks like they're going for it, using Madara's Aegis. They're just going to have him poke away at it. Look at how quickly he sieges. I mean, Gyrocrypt is not really a sieging hero. Pingvachek goes in, only hits the tornado onto one spot and taking quite a bit of damage, but immediately the Nightmare saving his life, and now they're Faceless, not able to get off his ult. Madara is being held, but again, he's the Aegis carrier. Fiend's Grip onto Pingvachek. So much damage going out onto him. Madara is still not dead, still has the Aegis. They go down. Only the Weaver left alive. And the Weaver in the back lines, trying to get something done. Unable to. This is going to be megas and the GGs are cold.
Yeah, the Aegis was the last straw. I think they realized, like, from the previous fight, they can't win a fight unless they manage to, like, take out the gyro. But then once he had an Aegis, it's just like, there's no way they're gonna kill him twice, so that just kind of ends the game. And GGGL makes me think, is this... So this is knockout, right? They're knocked out.
They're knocked out, yeah.
What
They're
what
probably
round
just-
is Finem going to?
Let me just double
Just
check.
put them in the semi-finals? Is that...
It does put them in the semifinals, yeah.
Like,
Wow.
do we know who they're
We're
against
already-
yet?
Yes, they'll be playing up against London Conspiracy. So, ex-London Conspiracy up against London Conspiracy.
Almost sounds like a conspiracy itself. That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. I kind of think that Adfinim's the stronger team there. Although Lime Conspiracy have like had some pretty impressive matches recently, so I don't know. It's tough to call.
I mean, their bracket, there were a lot of good teams in this tournament that I think people would have expected to do better than Adfinem. Adfinem beat out Hellraisers to be here. Tornado Rocks was beaten out by Danish Bears. Yellow Submarine beaten out by London Conspiracy as well. And of course, London Conspiracy beat Cookies earlier today. But either way, Adfinem managed to take it 2-0 over Danish Bears. Well played to them. We'll be seeing more of them moving forwards. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by Scant, so you can find us by those names on Twitter. Send us feedback on how to make the casting more enjoyable for you, and we'll see you next time, because that's it for today. Peace out, folks.